Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit drama that'll make you question your own friends. Story 1. My friend ruined my cake with his dirty finger. So my friend just destroyed my dessert in the most disgusting way possible, and now he's acting like I'm the crazy one. Let me explain what happened because I honestly can't believe this is real life. I'm hanging out with my friend around midnight, and we decide to hit up Jack in the Box. I'm craving something sweet, so I order this little chocolate cake for myself. He gets his meal, and we head back to my place to eat. The moment we sit down, he immediately asks for some of my cake. I say no, which seems pretty reasonable since it's my cake that I paid for, right? But this guy won't let it go. He keeps asking, and we end up arguing about this stupid cake for 10 whole minutes. I'm getting so frustrated that I'm about to just leave and eat my cake somewhere else. That's when he completely crosses the line. He grabs my cake out of my purse, digs his finger deep into it, eats the cake off his finger, and then puts it back in my purse like nothing happened. I'm immediately disgusted and upset, so I throw the whole thing in the trash. There's no way I'm eating something he just contaminated with his unwashed finger. But get this, he has the audacity to get mad at me for throwing it away. He starts yelling about how I'm wasteful and dramatic. I'm like, dude, you literally stuck your dirty finger in my food after I said no. That's not just disrespectful, it's gross. The whole thing escalated into this huge fight where he's calling me petty and I'm telling him he's disgusting and disrespectful. What really gets me is that he genuinely seems to think I'm overreacting. Like, in what world is it okay to contaminate someone's food because they won't share? I keep thinking about how many things he touches with those hands, and now I'm supposed to eat cake that he finger scooped. The worst part is he's acting like he was entitled to my cake in the first place, and destroying it was somehow a reasonable response to me saying no. I mean, we're both 20 years old. This isn't kindergarten where you throw a tantrum when someone won't share their snacks. It's making me question our whole friendship honestly. Is this the kind of person who respects boundaries? Clearly not. And the fact that he got angry at me for not eating the contaminated cake just shows how little he understands about basic hygiene and respect. I've been going back and forth about whether I made too big a deal out of this, but I really don't think I did. Am I wrong for being disgusted and throwing away food that someone stuck their finger in after I said no? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I got a cancer diagnosis and my friend made it about herself. So I just got some really heavy news about my health, and my friend's reaction has left me completely speechless. I'm 22. And I've been battling melanoma since I was 17. It's been this ongoing nightmare where I go into remission, then it comes back, then remission again. It's like this cruel cycle that never really ends. Well, I had a biopsy done last month to check some concerning spots, and this morning I got the call. It's back, and this time it's worse. We're talking multiple types of cancer in different parts of my body. Obviously, this is terrifying news that I'm still trying to process. Most of my friends and family have been incredible. They're offering support, asking what they can do, just being there for me, you know. But then there's this one friend who had the most bizarre reaction I've ever experienced. The moment I told her about my diagnosis, she immediately started crying and making it all about herself. She's going on and on about how this is so hard for her to hear, how she can't handle losing someone close to her, how this is bringing up all her own trauma and fears. I'm sitting there, literally having just received news that could change everything about my future, and she's expecting me to comfort her about my own cancer diagnosis. It gets worse though. She starts talking about how she needs to process this news and might need some space from me because being around me is too emotionally difficult for her right now. I'm like, wait, what? You need space from me because I have cancer. She's treating my medical crisis like it's something I'm doing to her personally. The whole conversation was so surreal. Here I am, scared about treatments and prognosis and what this means for my life, and she's making demands about how I should handle telling people and how I should be more considerate of how my cancer affects others. Finally, I just snapped and told her that my cancer diagnosis is not about her. I said she needs to figure out her own emotional response without making me responsible for managing her feelings about my illness. She got really offended and said I was being harsh and unsympathetic to how hard this is for everyone who cares about me. But honestly, I think there's a difference between being supportive and making someone else's tragedy about yourself. I get that it's difficult to hear that someone you care about is sick, but the person with the actual illness shouldn't have to manage everyone else's emotional reactions. I'm already dealing with enough without having to comfort other people about my own health crisis. The whole thing has me questioning whether this person is really a friend at all, because a real friend would put their own feelings aside to be there for me right now. Instead, she's adding stress to an already overwhelming situation. Was I too harsh when I told her my diagnosis isn't about her? Story 3. The vegan lasagna that wasn't actually lasagna. So I just attended the most awkward dinner party of my life, and I'm still trying to figure out if I handled it completely wrong. My friend invited me over and told everyone she was making vegan lasagna. Now, I'm not vegan myself, but I actually enjoy a lot of plant-based foods, so I was genuinely excited to try her version. I show up hungry and ready to eat, and when she serves dinner, I'm completely confused by what's on my plate. This wasn't lasagna by any stretch of the imagination. There were no noodles, no cheese, no tomato sauce, nothing that remotely resembled lasagna. Instead, it was basically layers of vegetables stacked on top of each other. The pasta layers were lettuce leaves, and then she had sliced tomatoes and other raw vegetables just piled up. It looked more like a deconstructed salad than any kind of lasagna I've ever seen. I'm trying to be polite, so I take a bite, and it's exactly what you'd expect: cold, watery vegetables with no seasoning or flavor. It honestly tasted like I was eating a plain salad without dressing. The whole thing was just so bizarre and disappointing. I keep taking small bites, trying to find something redeeming about it, but it's just not happening. Meanwhile, my friend is going on and on about how much work she put into this amazing vegan lasagna recipe she found online. I'm sitting there thinking, did she actually follow a recipe, or did she just decide to call a vegetable stack lasagna? The other guests are being polite, but I can tell everyone's kind of confused and hungry. We're all just pushing these cold vegetables around our plates, and nobody's really eating much. I start feeling bad because I'm clearly not enjoying the meal, and my friend obviously put effort into hosting. But at the same time, I came here expecting dinner, and what I got was essentially a small, unseasoned salad. After about 20 minutes of trying to make conversation while nibbling on lettuce leaves, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was still hungry, it was getting late, and I honestly felt a little deceived. If someone tells you they're serving lasagna, you expect something that at least resembles lasagna, right? So I made up an excuse about having an early morning and left to grab actual food on the way home. Later, my friend texted me asking if everything was okay because I seemed to leave suddenly. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I just said I wasn't feeling well. But now some mutual friends are saying I was rude for leaving early and that I should have just eaten what was served out of politeness. Part of me feels bad because she did invite me into her home and tried to cook for everyone. But another part of me thinks it's fair to expect that food described as lasagna should actually be recognizable as lasagna. I mean, I would never serve someone a bowl of cereal and call it soup, you know. Am I wrong for leaving when the vegan lasagna turned out to be a stack of raw vegetables? Story 4. Wedding versus funeral, I had to choose and everyone's mad. So my family is completely split apart right now, and it's all because of an impossible choice I had to make. I come from this huge extended family where we're all spread out across different cities, so we rarely see each other except for major events. A few weeks ago, we had 2 major events happen at the exact same time, and it tore our family apart. My cousin had been planning his wedding for months. Everyone had already bought plane tickets, booked hotels, made all these arrangements to attend. We were all looking forward to this big family celebration where we'd finally get to see each other and have a good time. Then, about a week before the wedding, tragedy struck. Another cousin passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. It was devastating news that nobody saw coming. Naturally, the family wanted to plan a funeral to honor him and be there for each other during this difficult time. But here's where everything went wrong. The funeral ended up being scheduled for the exact same day as the wedding. Both events were in different cities, so there was absolutely no way to attend both. This put our entire family in this horrible position where we had to choose between celebrating new life and love or mourning the loss of someone we cared about. The family immediately split into two camps. Some people felt that death takes priority over everything else, and we should all cancel our wedding plans to attend the funeral together. They argued that weddings can be rescheduled, but you only get one chance to say goodbye to someone. The other side felt that we shouldn't abandon the cousin who was getting married on what's supposed to be the happiest day of his life. They pointed out that everyone had already made expensive travel arrangements, and the couple had spent months planning this celebration. I was completely torn about what to do. Both events were important for totally different reasons. After going back and forth, I ultimately decided to stick with my original plan and attend the wedding. My reasoning was that I had already committed to being there, spent money on travel, and I felt like the cousin getting married needed family support too. It seemed unfair to abandon him because of circumstances beyond anyone's control. But apparently, this was the wrong choice in many people's eyes. The family members who went to the funeral are furious with those of us who went to the wedding. They're saying we're selfish and heartless for choosing a party over paying respects to the deceased. There have been angry phone calls, heated text messages, and people saying they're disappointed in my priorities. Meanwhile, the cousin who got married was grateful that some family showed up, because apparently a lot of people did cancel last minute to attend the funeral instead. The whole situation has created this massive rift in our family where people are taking sides and judging each other's choices. I keep going back and forth about whether I made the right decision. On one hand, I feel like I honored my commitment and supported my cousin on an important day. On the other hand, maybe I should have prioritized being there for the family during a time of grief. Was I wrong to choose the wedding over the funeral? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.